And now let's return to the news from inside. Mario Cicognetti, the worker who has now been living for 15 days without a heart, sustained solely by an artificial heart. He underwent surgery this morning, performed by Professor Sopranzi's team. The operation was made possible by the donation from the family of a man who died in a road accident. The operation was successful, and Mario Cicognetti is currently in the observation unit at the Mater Dei Clinic. He is in good condition. This latest surgical procedure once again raises the disturbing issue of organ donation from people who are dead or presumed dead, a problem that has recently attracted worldwide press coverage, arousing keen interest and concern. Following the statements of the distinguished clinician Professor Obnov, confirmed by the equally distinguished American scientist Professor Andrews, on the subject, we were able to interview the two eminent experts, and here is the report we present to you.
Dagabrowski, yes.
In fact, the point is that you simply cannot determine the boundary between life and death. A person is considered clinically dead because their brain impulses no longer respond, but whose vital organs, such as the heart, liver, corneas, kidneys, and so on, are still alive and suitable for transplantation into another human being. This person, as I was saying, may in fact not be dead. What do we really know about the boundary of life? Given the current state of science and our knowledge, I believe we should no longer permit the transplantation of vital organs, let alone the heart, which cannot be regarded as merely any muscle of the human body. Indeed, without a heart, without a brain, one cannot live. Thank you, Professor Obnov. And as the great Russian poet Dimitrov once said, if the intellect resides in the brain, feeling, the soul, resides in the heart. And who can say when the heart stops beating? If the soul is mortal, then so is the heart, and thus the soul of your dead. Thank you. Thank you.
Finally, let's hear from Professor Andrews.
Well, I believe my distinguished colleague, Professor Obnov, is absolutely right in maintaining that we should no longer carry out transplants of organs donated by people who have died or by their relatives, without more thorough scientific research to establish beyond any shadow of a doubt what the true boundary of death is. That limit, as Shakespeare said, beyond whose borders no traveler returns. It makes us bear the evils we have rather than fly to others we know nothing of. Or perhaps not? Thank you. Professor Andrews, the floor is yours.
After hearing the opinions of the distinguished Russian and American scientists, we now go over to the Mater Dei Clinic where our Antonello Mareshiki is. Antonello, can you hear me? Over to you.
Good evening. I'm speaking to you from the Mater Dei Clinic, where, just a few hours ago, Professor Sopranzi's team successfully completed his operation. Around 40,000 spectators? Sorry. As I was saying, a heart transplant operation has just been completed, one that has restored hope of a new life to Mario Cicognetti, the construction worker who lived for over 15 days without a heart. It was in fact only thanks to an artificial heart developed indeed by Professor Sopranzi's team, which allowed poor Cicognetti to survive while waiting for a long shot to come in. Sorry again, waiting for a donor. And so today, at long last, this happy occasion has come about thanks to the courage of a woman who, though overwhelmed by the sudden misfortune that befell her, she chose to make an act of great civic spirit and love. A woman who, as they say, has scored a goal!
Yes, Kiki, can you hear me? Would you kindly interview the widow?
Ah, yes. Right. Well, excuse us, madame. Could you tell us why you decided to donate your husband's heart and why you came here in person to this clinic to await the outcome of the transplant operation? Is it true that you wanted to make an act of love? Is it true that with this act you intend to honor the memory of your loved one, as well as help save a life? Is it true that you feel happy and relieved about this humanitarian act of yours? Well, here we are after the statements from this unfortunate lady. Now I would like to interview Professor Dr. Sopranzi, who performed this very delicate operation.
I have to say the operation was a complete success. I'm also pleased with the post-operative recovery. The patient is doing well, although of course the prognosis is guarded.
And what do you think, Professor, about the controversy that this operation has once again sparked? And what is your view of the opinion of some scientists who have declared themselves opposed to organ transplants, arguing that one cannot be certain that on the, shall we say, donation side, the, let's say, donor is actually dead?
Well, it would be ridiculous if someone who was dead weren't actually dead, and afterwards following the donation, they're certainly dead. I can say that without fear of contradiction.
And now let's move on to other news. Rome. The Minister for Foreign Trade, Pinzuti. What do you want?
And do you know who you are? And do you know what you want?
Of course I do. I am... Damn, I can't remember now, but I knew it. Just a moment ago I knew it. God, strike me down.
Don't make your situation worse. You've got no heart because you've got no soul. And you're without a soul because you're without a heart. Look, if you don't believe me, check and you'll see you won't have +1 heart.
My distinguished colleague is right. You're heartless, without a doubt, and soulless.
How do you do it? Like this?
This is not right for me or for him. You can't go down. Or up.
You're stuck here forever. Where's my heart? Someone else has it. But who and why? When did they take it from me? When?
When you died, or rather when they believed you were dead, they took your heart and transplanted it into another person. A man named Mario Cicognetti, a 27-year-old construction worker. Do you want to know something else? Don't you remember being hit by a car as you were leaving your house? And that you were in a coma for 2 days? Until your brain activity flatlined? And then they cut open your chest and took your heart to give it to the other one?
Yes. Yes, it's true. Now, I remember. But who authorized them to take my heart? Your wife. How? Could she? I wasn't dead.
Your EEG was flat. Science only gets you so far. What would they know about souls? They still believe the heart is a muscle. Maybe only poets know that feeling, that intangible soul, lives in the heart. As the great Russian poet Dimitrov used to say,
Your wife knew what your heart was like too, and that's why she gave it away. Remember? Did you see what your heart was like? No wonder your wife gave it away.
No, that's not possible.
come on. I know these aren't your memories. Your memories are different, aren't they? Was this your heart? I'm not surprised your wife gave it away. She turned it down, didn't want it, didn't understand it. But now you're in trouble. Because, as my distinguished colleague told you, we, Cap, didn't accept you like this. Without a heart, without a soul. You understand? We only take that one. We're not interested in the body, liver, lungs, kidneys, intestines, brains. We don't need them. We've no idea what to do with them.
Otherwise, we'd be running a butcher shop. Bria. Steves, thighs, and arses.
That's the rule. You get me? We can only take things that are intangible, ethereal, like feelings, faith, the soul. We can't accept bodies. Right now, there's no room. Unfortunately, the architect still hasn't drawn up the new master plan. And won't do it until Judgment Day. See, you'll have to wait until Judgment Day. And we haven't got a clue when that's gonna happen either. Only he knows. For now, as I was saying, there's no room. That cave. And you imagine up to now we had accepted all the bodies of the deceased. Ed, do you have any idea how many died before you?
No. 423 billion 925 million.
And the calculation is straightforward.
634,025,
4 to 5 generations for every century since the creation of humankind,
including
which was
you.
far earlier than 6000 BC, as the Bible claims.
Mind your own books. In short, there are too many dead to accept them whole, given the current resources.
Couldn't an exception be made for me?
No exceptions can be made for anyone. And besides, you're not even whole. You're missing your heart. Understand? You may have to wait for the other one to die before you can reclaim your heart. And when does the other one do? Hey, only you knows that. Only wait. So what should I do in the meantime?
You could come with me and give me a hand. I've got a lot of work on, little temptations here and there. You're an accountant. You could work in the bank. I mean, you could give me a hand with the bankers. Look, don't worry. There's work to be done.
Don't listen to my colleague. You see. Thinking about it, there is a solution, which, one, we could do an exchange, let's say. You could take the heart that was thrown away by the other one who now has yours. It's not in good shape. In fact, it doesn't work at all. But for now, you'd only need it just to be, let's say, whole. You'd still be dead, but a complete dead man. With a heart. And where's this heart then? Alright, let's see. They took it out 15 days ago, but I don't know. They must have put it somewhere. Just go and get it.
I mean, why? Didn't those distinguished luminaries who perform transplants... You want to take one of my organs? Then take it. You want to transplant it into someone I don't even know? Then transplant it. But at least leave me the defective bits, the scraps, or I can die peacefully, whole.
Come on. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go.
And him, isn't he coming? I'll come. Go on ahead. I'll follow. To meddle in it.
It's a truly extraordinary case, clinically inexplicable.
We must accept the evidence. Ever since he came round, the patient has done nothing but call out that woman's name. What's her name? Anna. Here's Anna, who happens to be the widow of the donor Giuseppe Di Salvo, who died in a road accident. But are we sure that our patient, Mr. Sicognetti, hadn't met her before? The little widow?
It is indeed very strange that this lady wanted to donate her husband's heart to Sicognetti, and that she came to this clinic to wait for the result of the operation. Everything suggests that Anna Di Salvo already knew Sicognetti.
No, it could be. You too. My dear, you were there when, after the operation, Mrs. Di Salvo went into the patient's room to congratulate him. Nothing in her behavior suggested she had known him before.
But then, how do you explain the fact that Sicognetti started when he saw her, and his new heart started pounding wildly, to the point where we feared a rejection? And how do you explain that, even earlier, when he was still unconscious, Sicognetti repeatedly said the name Anna? Who told you? The nurse who's looking after him. That same nurse also told me that after her first visit to the patient, Mrs. Di Salvo came back every single day to see him.
It may simply be an act of kindness, especially considering that Sicognetti has no relatives and is alone in the world. Mrs. Di Salvo has also been left on her own. She recently lost as far as I know. And then, her husband's accident.
Exactly, the accident. Doesn't it seem strange to you, Professor, this providential accident, providential for Sicognetti? And doesn't it seem odd that poor Salvo, who'd been in a coma for 2 days, was declared clinically dead just moments after his brainwave test showed a flat line, and his wife's rush to grant permission for his heart to be removed? Doesn't it strike you as odd?
Oh, listen, my dear. Now you're going over the top. You're questioning the professionalism of our colleagues, and I'm not going to allow that. You forget that doctors, and I mean doctors, confirmed Di Salvo's clinical death. And then, by questioning this matter, my dear sir, where will it all end up? So, we wouldn't be able to do transplants anymore, and we would go back to doing appendectomies. So I urge you to be more cautious in your thinking, and to stop indulging in sci-fi fantasies. Unless you fancy going back on the ward to stick suppositories in patients.
Sorry, Professor. I didn't mean it. Perish the thought.
Alright, there's no talk about it anymore. Let's just say that Siconietti's case is a rare instance of extrasensory perception. The new heart has brought the patient new feelings as well. And there's nothing strange in the fact that the young widow, that is, Mrs. Salvo, has developed a human sympathy, a humanitarian sympathy towards the one who now carries her late husband's heart. Is that clear? Or, we are doctors, not police, right?
Listen, Anna. You shouldn't put yourself forward like that. Someone might start imagining all sorts of things because of how often you come here.
I don't care. I don't care about anything. Right now, I just want to be with you. Finally. Now that no one can ever tear us apart again. Now that you're better and I'm free. If only you knew how happy I am, Mario. After everything I've been through. But what's wrong, Mario? What's going on? Don't you love me anymore? You are becoming stranger and stranger. When you were still under the effects of the anesthetic, you were calling out my name. And even afterwards, I know you were. I heard you. But as the days went by after the operation, you started acting colder and colder towards me. Now you're even distant. You remind me of my husband. My love, tell me again that you love me. I need to hear you say it.
Listen, Anna. I don't know what's happening to me. I've been through a difficult time myself, of course. But no, that's not it. I don't know how to tell you. The truth is that ever since I got this thing that isn't mine and that I feel isn't mine, and in fact, it actually belongs to your husband. I don't know. But with each passing day, I feel more and more indifferent towards you. So, yeah, it feels like I don't love you anymore. If I'm honest, you really get on my nerves. And this feeling you have towards me annoys me. The thing is, I can't do anything about it. It's not my fault. Let's just say it's your husband's heart that's to blame. If he didn't love you, I don't love you. In other words, his heart doesn't love you. I've got nothing to do with it. I know I owe you my life, and I'm grateful to you. It's thanks to you that I was able to have the transplant surgery. Yeah, well, I was also lucky because your husband had that accident, and so you were able to help me. And I'll always have to thank you for agreeing to the donation.
Yes, of course. You were lucky.
What's the matter, Are you crazy?
Yes, I am.
You know what, there are plenty of mad people about. But I mean, first you give him your husband's heart, make the donation, and then take it back? What the fuck? Are you talking about... You can inherit a heart? Is it real estate? A diamond? Is it a pair of gloves? That were the case, who, for example, would have to keep your granddad's balls, I reckon. Sorry, but you're talking rubbish. It was her stuff. Her stuff. ERs. And then, is that any way to behave? One might say, excuse me, I've changed my mind. Could you get yourself another heart and give me back mine? You know, I'd appreciate that. But she, without hesitation, stabbed him. She tore his heart out and threw it out the window. Good grief. Is this the land of the cannibals?
Think how upset the professor must have been after that difficult transplant operation ruined his work.
What are you, Todd? El King about? Take your hand away. The professor is happy. She's done him a little favor, that one.
And why is that?
Because that way he was able to carry out the extraction from Siconietti's still warm body. On the pretext that he didn't have relatives, he stripped him of everything. Kidneys, liver, corneas,
He
all
probably
the
turned
innards.
it into a couple of rigatoni o la
And
matriciana.
he could amuse himself doing loads of transplants, given what they cost. Damn. Imagine the money. It's only us porters they won't give any extra overtime pay to.
And that woman, the widow, what happened to her?
What? You? Don't know. They've sent her to a clinic, our mental illness. At least until they find a way to change brains.
Remember to put yourself on the list, because you need it.
But you're the one who needs it, mate. You got spaghetti with clams instead of
What
a
the
brain.
hell? Can't we joke? But tell me, is it true that the hat that she threw out the window was never found?
Yes, Exa. Vitili. Who knows what became
It's
of it?
really a mystery.
It seems she threw it down there into the courtyard. You know, where the clinic rubbish is thrown out. But when the police went to look for the evidence, the heart was gone.
The cat must have eaten it. I've always said this clinic is full of cats. With all the offal they throw away, those cats really gorge themselves.
Yes, even the police thought the same thing. And so that heart went on quite a journey. From the donor's chest to Sicognetti's. And then into the cat's stomach.
We just flesh. So what do we do now? Do we want to go to work?
And you? Do you feel ill? Ike? Ed? No, me neither.
Come on, don't take it to heart. Now you'll just have to wait for the cat to die. There are people worse off than you. Think of poor Ciccognetti, from whom they took so many of those organs. And who will have to wait for everyone they transplanted them into to die?
All my wife's fault.
No. It's all the driver's fault. What can you do? It's always fate's fault. And, anyway, it's him. He's the one who does the transplants. If only you knew what wings he gave me in place of the beautiful ones I once had. But that's because you rebelled. And, how could you not when, let's say, fate mocks you?
Yeah. for now, dear. Au revoir, madame. But I vow, dear, not farewell. For in time we may have all love's glory, our love story to tell. Just as every autumn leaves fall from the trees, tumble to the ground and die, so in the springtime, like sweet memories, they will return as will I, like the sun did upon high. We'll return, dear, to the sky, and we'll banish the pain and the sorrow until
Voiceover by Marcello Luciani as the distinguished Russian clinician, Fabrizio Di Giacomo as the worker, Valerio Morini as a distinguished American clinician, Edoardo Forzano in the role of the devil, Paolo Di Giacomo in the role of the other worker, Carlo Di Giacomo in the role of the distinguished surgeon, Mario Tosti in the role of the Rai announcer, Marco Ancelotti in the role of the reporter, Vita Lucia Torroni in the role of the translator, Maria Pia Pezza in the role of the interviewer.